So Romanticism, a little bit about it. It started in the late 1700s and went to about the mid 1800s, and it was especially throughout Europe. Um, Obviously, there's still romantic art today, even, but the romantic era is technically during that time period. And I put in my paper that, from basically what I could find on the internet, that romanticism is kind of, it tells a story in the way that emotion is shown, a climax to the poem, piece of art, I guess you could say, or most commonly like the piece of music. And it's kind of, if you can get that the author or artist, composer is trying to tell you something, then it most likely could be romantic. And the three I found were J.M.W. Turner, who's an artist, Emily Dickinson, who's a poet, and Franz Schubert, who's a composer. I had found some stuff on them. So, with J.M.W. Turner, the artist, one of his most one of his most famous was the Fighting Tamaraire, and show it. I only looked up in class. And I put for this one that it's romantic in the way that, without even really showing it, you can kind of imagine that what he's trying to get is there's new modern technology now, and in that case, it's modernized ships. And then the older ones are kind of being pushed away, and in this case, they're literally pushed away into the back of the painting. And you can imagine that eventually they will be gone, and that's kind of what he was trying to get at. And then my poet, Emily Dickinson, I found one of her poems. They're pretty similar, all of them. This one's titled "If I Can Stop One Heart from Breaking," and it's the first line of the poem. She didn't get to title it, but it's romantic in the way that it really does tell a story. She's literally telling us that if she can stop one heart from breaking, I'll read a little bit. I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life the aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin unto his nest again, I shall not live in vain. So she's telling us that with her doing a good deed or something to help one another, it saves her the pain of living in vain. And with that, she won't have to. So that's kind of what I had for romanticism about that one, in a nutshell. And then my composer was Franz Schubert, and I'll play his piece if I can find it. Okay. This one was kind of a good example of romanticism, because when you think of romanticism, again, a climax, a story, something that really tries to explain like what's happening without actually putting it in words. And music's a good example of that. So it starts out kind of a really quiet piano, and then gradually gets to that forte, really loud in your face, and then it does it again. So the whole piece you kind of anticipate what's going to happen without even really knowing what is really happening. So it tells a story without you actually knowing what's happening. So I'll play that. Can't hear it. Okay. So there's a lot going on, but you can obviously tell that it's quickening in tempo, and it's getting louder, and it's like something, you can just anticipate that something is going to happen. That's kind of the story that it tells, even though you really, again, you don't know what is happening. But so that was a good example of it, and that kind of finishes romanticism. So story, a climax, and yeah.